I wanted to lead off with this. As Newsmax is getting more, how shall we say, attention out there, the basket of bias press is out there trying to denigrate and degrade what it is people like I do, either on television or on talk radio. And I wanted you all to see the power of corporate groupthink. This is a montage that we found courtesy of our buddies at Grabian. Now, this is all put together. Some of it's going to be a little difficult to hear because they wanted to illustrate through video and through audio exactly what groupthink does. But this is scripts sent out to various TV stations across the country, owned by one particular group. Now watch what they've all been commanded to say by their overseers in these corporate-owned media conglomerates. Listen to this.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
This is all a script passed out to all of these stations to deliver the same message. Balanced. You folks don't even have an original idea in your head unless your corporate overlords tell you to go do something. You won't do it. By the way, a lot of your corporate folks donating to Democrats are committed Democrat socialists. They run these news operations, these anti-American Democrat socialists.
But
we are concerned about plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
I see. Like the New York Times, you mean? Like the Washington Post? As a matter of fact, during the era of President Trump, the fake news was off the charts. The retractions, of course, were always buried on the last pages of the paper or buried in the newscast. The corrections never led your newscasts. And I will agree with this sentiment. They're all saying they're troubled by one-sided news coverage. You know who gives one-sided news coverage? They do. When was the last debate you saw on any of these stations about the merits of man-made global warming? When was the last debate you saw on any of these so-called news stations from two different perspectives on how to combat the China virus? When was the last debate you saw what our response should be to the communist Chinese because of the plague they've unleashed on purpose onto this globe? They're worried. They're not worried about biased journalism. They're worried about a message getting out that's counter to what their bosses want to put out.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately,
look at all of them, all saying the same dang thing. Look at them.
Exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Get the theme? Get it? Divergent thought. That's extremely dangerous to democracy. Actually, no. Divergent thought is the point of democracy. You blooming idiots. Individuals who think differently than other individuals. That's the point. The freedom to do so. You folks at all of these stations, they're going to continue.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Really?
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
You folks are extremely dangerous to our democracy. You anti-American Democrat socialist left-wingers who are willing to surrender our rights, our voices, to the likes of Jack Dorsey, to the likes of Mark Zuckerberg, and to the likes of the Democrat Socialist Party. You're the problem. Why did I lead with this? Because I want you all to know why outlets like Newsmax, outlets like conservative talk radio stations are such threats to these people. We don't go with the flow, as they say. We cut against the grain. We're the only ones who remember what the whole point of freedom and liberty is. The whole point of American democracy, the republic we find ourselves a part of, is our ability and our rights to dissent against the government that may be doing it wrong. And boy, when it comes to guys like Beijing Biden, he is the poster child for doing things wrong. When it comes to President Barack Hussein Obama, he did everything wrong, including kissing the rear end of the communist Chinese. And look where it led us. An emboldened communist China that unleashed a plague on the world and felt perfectly comfortable to do so. One of the other purveyors of no thought-provoking so-called news, liberal opinion really, disguised as news, is CNN. We'll get into the China virus coming up next. The hypocrisy of the American left and how these people who say, oh, we are the gatekeepers of what is true out there. I'm going to show you how they cover for the hypocrisy of Democrat socialists. Don't miss this show. I'll be right back. Chris Salcedo's show on the Voice of Texas and Newsmax TV.